Tough night for us, and a credit to Tennessee. I felt like they were able to expose some areas where they had advantages, and put distance between us and them on the scoreboard, and made it for tough sledding in the second half. I was proud of the way our team fought. I will say that. I thought the guys to the very end were fighting with the kind of pride and the level of compete that we expect. But, it's also frustrating because we're here to win and to come up short and to feel like we weren't able to put together a competitive game. It's frustrating. So, this is a painful finish to a tough season, and, we're going to let it sink in here, but also look forward to turn the page and advance forward. And so with that, I'm happy to open up for questions.
Clark, how tough is it, to deal with an offense like this, especially when Milton gets into the kind of rhythm we've got?
I mean, they have explosive capability, and I thought a year ago a lot of our issues came defending the run. I actually thought we were more consistent. Not perfect, but more consistent that way this year in this game. But we didn't do enough on the perimeter to make it hard on him, I don't think. And so whether that was not playing with eye discipline and the ball getting behind us or the ball running past us, we have to take responsibility for how we allowed for that rhythm. I think he's really hard when he extends plays, and there were times where I felt like we had the opportunity for pressure and a sack, and he was able to evade and extend the play. But certainly a ton of respect for him and a ton of respect for the system. And sometimes you're going to absorb yards in these games, and you're building to the stop, and we were able to do that a couple times. But it's the explosive touchdowns that you don't get back. And when the ball goes up in the air and it scores, it's nothing you can do about that. So we have to look at both design and just how we advance our personnel to give us a better chance on the perimeter, and that's what we'll do.
Clark, what's the next step for you in turning the page, and what do you feel like this program most needs to make these games happen?
Yeah, I obviously there's a lot in that question, and ultimately it is my responsibility. So, I need to be deliberate and take my time to figure out what exactly, what are the things that we need to adjust and adapt to close the gap. I think we're going to reflect back on this year, and we're going to see some things that we want to build on. It's not going to be all bad, but the results are obviously not where we want them to be. And so it'll be about setting a course and adjusting our process to aim towards those results. And that includes, evaluating all our systems and developing the roster we have and looking to supplement the roster we have with people who can help us be in position to compete and win. So none of it is going to happen overnight. None of it's going to be a flip of the switch and things change. I think this is about being deliberate and making good decisions to set a course that gets us back on track. And obviously I'm frustrated, but also recognize that it's ultimately my responsibility to get it better.
That scuffle in the second quarter, first of all, what were you upset about, and what did you see in that whole sequence?
Well, I was upset, from where I was sitting. There were two consecutive snaps where after the whistle our quarterback ended up on the ground. And to me, part of my job is to fight for our players, and certainly for their safety. This is also a guy that we lost there in the second half, and so all those hits add up. And I was upset about that, and I was upset about the delay of game call. And again, there's nothing I can do about that once that flag's thrown. But we'll have conversations about it. We'll send it in and try to get explanation for what happened there. So in the moment, I was fighting for AJ and fighting for my team, and doing everything I can to help shift, what I was seeing happening on the field. And I believe, I don't know all the ins and outs of the play that kind of got, the bench cleared. Obviously that's not a part of our game, and that's not something that we teach or preach. And anyone who's watched us practice knows that we're, that's not who we are. But I also think that our players were fighting for one another. I mean, I think they were standing up for each other in that moment too, which, our first covenant's true brotherhood. And I respect the fact that they were standing up for one another. We never want to cross those lines. We never want it to become something that takes away from the game. I thought our guys reset well at halftime and came back out and played a disciplined second half, and ultimately, again, we'll speak to the powers that be about the plays that I was frustrated about, but none of that's going to get fixed after the fact. So,
And
How
then what
close do you think that
happens
was to getting out of control, Mark?
I don't think that it was close to being out of control. I think that I think on both sides the coaches and staff were in position to help keep things tamped down. I think it was just an emotional moment, an emotional game at the end of an emotional season. And I trust our team, and I've got a lot of respect for our guys, and they know the lines not to cross. But I thought, on the whole, for the moment, I thought that both sides did a good job of getting things leveled out. And like I said, I was proud of the way we came back out in the second half and didn't really have any of those issues show back up on our side.
How do you evaluate this year as a whole, and what have you kind of learned about what it's going to take for you guys to take the next step?
Well, I mean, this year has been painful and frustrating, and I don't know that we just never got synced up. I go back to Hawaii, go back to Alabama A&M, and you see a team that played well enough to win those games. But as the competition increased, the things that we got away with in those games continued to show up. And the middle part of the season was about just trying to eliminate the turnovers that were crushing our chances to have success. And then we dealt with some injury at the quarterback position, and we were never able to get things pointed in the direction that allowed us to close the gap here late. And this will be a year of learning for me. I mean, look, I'm hurt. I'm upset. Obviously, I believe in what we're doing. I believe in Vanderbilt football, and I know that we're going to reflect back on this moment from success. I know we are. I think in so many ways it's these moments of adversity that shift your thinking, or that bring your attention to the things that you need to be paying attention to, and that's how you evolve and you transform something. But it's been a hard year, and I'm excited to turn the page on it. I'm also excited to spend time learning the lessons that I'm meant to be paying attention to, so I can help move this program forward. And I think there are going to be elements that we say, hey, there's in these ways we're not as far off as we think. So let's keep and enhance those. Let's find ways to interject change where there needs to be change, and let's build the program we know we can build. And if we look back on this and we say, hey, 2-10, 5-7, 2-10, that unlocked, success moving forward, then we'll understand that this year was purposeful and meaningful to the growth and development of our program. And that's all about taking control over the things that we take control of now, making decisions and choices to move us forward. That's it. And that's what I'm excited to do. What we won't do is sit here and lick our wounds and feel sorry for ourselves and try to blame something other than taking the ownership and accountability for the things that we control.
Can you talk about what you saw from AJ today? Really strong first drive of the game, and really showed kind of like what you were saying, the fight that this team brings.
I was very proud of AJ. And, look, it's not been an easy year for him. I mean, he wants to play well. He wants to be a great quarterback. And, it's been a year of challenge and adversity for him. But he's battled through injury. I thought he showed up today in the right mindset. I thought he made some plays early, created and got the ball out under pressure. It was great to see him back there playing with confidence. It was really cool. And to say also, how proud I am of Ken Seals. I mean, he's a guy that's called into action late that, ends up throwing for a touchdown and rushing for another. What can you say about that guy? Other than, man, I've really enjoyed being his coach, and I've got a ton of respect for him. So both those guys showed up to play today, and it's not shocking to me because they had 2 really good weeks of work, and again, I think there's more to come.
Have you seen Clark?
What went into the decision to start AJ today, and then what happened, on that play where he got hurt? Do you know what his status is?
Well, he's going to be okay. I believe that it's more muscular. It was a back injury that I don't think there's anything severe, but wasn't enough to. And he was trying. He was talking about he was loosening back up, and I think just our training staff felt like it was in his best interest that he not return. So I believe he'll be fine. But that was the injury. As far as starting him, look, we've been frustrated offensively the last 3 times out. We haven't been able to score enough points, and I think when that happens, AJ hasn't been available, and I think his first full week of practice was heading into the South Carolina game. So with the bye week and the ability to reset, we saw enough from him in the work in the week to get him back out there as our QB1, and he's a good player, and we weren't able to find consistency at that position this year, and obviously, I think that's going to be, one of the lessons we take away. But again, I was proud of the way he battled today.
Have you seen this season's results affect recruiting negatively in any way, and do you think it'll make it more difficult when it comes to roster retention?
Listen, anyone that's afraid of what it takes to build something and doesn't have the courage to believe in the people and see the path forward. I mean, ultimately the guys that are committed to this program and that are in this program to return are galvanized by the fact that they came here to win, and they believe in themselves, so they have a level of self-confidence, and they believe in the process, and part of my job is to make sure that I'm pointing out those areas where we have control, and we've got to exercise that control to play better football. But I'm not concerned about the results, damaging any part of the build, because ultimately this is about finding the people that have the toughness and the resilience to step into something and to move it forward. And there's plenty of examples of programs, turning it in a year. We don't need to wait on these results to shift, but obviously, we have to find the formula, and that's where, my time and energy is going to be spent here as we turn the page, is what is the formula that we need to get back on the rails of progress. We'll do that with the people that see the vision and that are committed to it, and we'll be excited to go to battle with those guys.
Anything else? Thank you.
Drew, you talk about the touchdown play, how it developed, and what you see on that?
So basically it was just a regular jet play, and the guys, they blocked it well, executed the play well, and ended up opening up how I wanted it to, and for a touchdown.
What kind of a struggle was it out there for you guys offensively?
Obviously we struggled today, but now we just gotta reset, like Coach Lee said, just reset and go back to the chalkboard and ready to play again next year.
How do you reflect on your freshman year?
I think I had a good freshman year. I feel like it's always room to develop and get better as a player. But yeah, overall, I think I had a good freshman year.
Where do you think you've gotten better the most since you've gotten here?
My route running and catching deep balls. That's what I feel like I've improved mostly at.
What have you learned from the leaders before you, such as a Will Shepherd or Jay McGowan, that you hope to bring to the team next year?
Just keep moving, keep grinding. You know, sometimes things don't go your way. Sometimes you gotta keep your head down and just keep going.
Anything else?
Junior, how difficult was this season for the whole team, you know, the way it played out?
It was it obviously wasn't the way we wanted to go, but we won't let it discourage us. We'll just keep going.
Junior, thank you.
How difficult is it to face an offense like Tennessee's, especially when a guy like Milton gets into the type of rhythm he did tonight?
Yeah, it's certainly hard, just facing tempo. We always call ourselves a tempo defense, so just getting lined up, getting the call in right, making sure everyone's on the same page is something super important against these guys. Came into it, big mentality on stopping the run because that's what hurt us last year, and they've kind of been gashing teams all across the SEC with their run game. So came in with a mindset set to stop the run, and then just down the perimeter plays. It was certainly tough when Milton kind of hits his stride there deep. Been missed a lot of deep balls this season. So just trying to get on body for those deep balls, and obviously today he was able to connect on some of those, which made it hard. As from a linebacker standpoint, getting a rhythm, a lot of it's kind of on us too to get pressure, get back there, make sure you can't step up in the pocket or have that much time, and that goes up front, and then getting on body back deep. So UT has a good scheme, but I think we were ready for it in the game, and they just came out and played better football than us today. You led the team in tackles throughout the last couple games. How do you evaluate what you did down the stretch?
Oh yeah. When my brother got hurt, they moved me to play a little bit of will, something I wasn't as familiar with. So just getting into the film room and really dialing into what my job is. We have a good defensive strategy, and so just being able to do my job, my 1 of 11, every play, snap in, snap out, and just let the plays come to me, not try to do anything more than my job is something that led me to some production. Just all the big D linemen doing their job, just crushing it up there, and then all the DBs forcing it back, inside to the linebackers, I think is something very important. It's not me that's doing anything extraordinary. It's just being able to do my job well.
From the start of the season, training camp and everything till now, how surprised were you by how this season went and the struggles you guys had?
Yeah, I'd say we were all very shocked. We prepared our butts off, the whole year, throughout the spring, throughout the summer, throughout fall camp even, and it just kind of shocked us all a little bit at the start, but just trying to be able to keep our heads down and grind every day, grind through it, keep pushing. We face the best teams in all of college football, so it's certainly hard in that way too. We got to play to our strengths and minimize our weaknesses. Certainly didn't go the way we wanted, but that's a challenge for us in the off season is just to get better in every way we can. Players, coaches, everybody on staff, just got to do their job, and you can't do anyone else's job for them. They got to come in every day with that mindset, that hard work mindset, to just keep going and keep swinging the axe, keep going.
What did you see weekly just in terms of sticking together and continuing to play hard through the losses?
Yeah, it's very easy for losing to pull your team apart. Very easy to point fingers at everybody, and so I think we did a really good job of just trying to lift each other up each and every week. We never questioned that we played as hard as we could every time we got a chance on that field. There were obviously execution errors all over the field from every position, and so just sticking together. Nobody's perfect. No one's going to be perfect. Everyone's going to make mistakes. So just being able to minimize our mistakes is something that's going to be huge for us.
and just sticking together because, that's when things get tough, everybody wants to separate, and that's what you can't do. You got to stick together and keep grinding.
Anything else? All right, thanks. Thank you.